I think this might be one of the first times we've actually started with a clear shot of the Bionis, rather than Mechonis, because here we are indeed after the last episode on the Mechonis. In the last episode, we fought Momkar at the climactic duel at Valak Mountain, and we have made our way into Sword Valley. I mean, technically, very technically, we've been here before, because we fought here as Dunban in the Battle of Sword Valley at the beginning, and it's exactly the same... Well, it's not exactly the same map. It's a very similar map. There's some weird differences that don't actually make sense, but I will get to talking about them in a second. Sword Valley, of course, has its own Collectopedia. It's not a huge one, but it's not as big as, say, Valak Mountain, but it is substantial, so we will gather stuff for that. As an area, it is a little bit on the bland side. So I've got some stuff I'm going to talk about this episode, because there's going to be a lot of basically just walking through Sword Valley and fighting Mechon. I strongly recommend that you have anti-Mechon equipment equipped. If only just because then you're not forced to, A, oh, there's Ged Fortress, by the way, you're not then forced to, A, use Shulk in every battle, and B, have to play as Shulk in every battle, because you really, I've talked about this before, but you really can't rely on Shulk's AI to actually use Monado enchant. Basically, Shulk's AI fucking loves Monado Buster, and will use it at every possible opportunity, and often just not have the gauge ready to do Monado enchant, which you really need against Mechon. Anyway, here in Ged Fortress is a completely unguarded gate lock release, which opens that thing which lets us open that gate, but weirdly we're not going to be doing that. I think this is actually going to be one of multiple times we do this. I think there's going to be quite a lot in Sword Valley of unlocking gates but not actually going through them, because there's sneaky ways around. We can kind of get in the back way here and fight some Mechon. There aren't many new, like, models of Mechon, you'll notice. So these ones are ones that we've seen before, the kind of android units. But they're called android units now rather than they were called M64s, I think, before. We've got an interesting party combination here as well. We have got Ryan, Ricky, and Melia. The point of this, basically, is between Ryan and Melia, we can actually output quite a high amount of damage, but basically, Melia really needs someone to draw aggro. As you can see here, this is the issue with Mind Blast. Mind Blast is a, like, area of effect. It hits everyone in a cone in front of her, which means that Melia can quite easily Mind Blast and draw aggro from everyone. Ryan is really good at drawing aggro in a huge area, and thus is a good counter to Melia's struggle with, like, Melia can draw aggro quite easily, though at least she's holding off relatively well because of the medium armor. Like, I think at this stage, and I'll explain what I mean by this stage because there's some more future stuff we're going to get, but where we are at the moment with equipment and Melia and whatnot, I feel like one of the best things we can do is keep Melia in medium armor, because she risks drawing a lot of aggro with, not Thunder Bullets, Summon Electric. Right, let's hoover up what we got from that. Oh, so gem crafting starts to become actually a lot easier here, because obviously you still have ether gears around that still give you ether crystals in the same fashion that we got from the Bionis. But as we've seen before, Mechon and Mechonis-based enemies don't drop ether crystals when they die, they drop ether cylinders, because I guess the point is that's what fuels them, whereas ether crystals are the ether of a creature's body being redistributed when it dies to kind of go back to the Bionis and all that we heard Ryan and Shulk talk about ages ago. Anyway, while we're talking about here, I can finally, you have no idea how long this has been eating at me, we can finally talk about Faced Mechon, because we finally had the big reveal that it's Homs inside them. And suddenly, oh yeah, by the way, over there, a M104 Fortress unit. Scary bastards, let's not fight one of them unless we have to, which will be in a couple of episodes' time. I can finally talk about Faced Mechon. Faced Mechon are piloted by Homs, and that, and only that, is why the Monado doesn't work against them. The game hints at this quite interestingly. Take, for example, when we first see Metalface, Shulk looks at him and says, "That light."
What is that light? Other Mechon don't have that. Could that light be why the Monado has no effect?
Between that and a couple of other things, it is implied and later all but confirmed in the game that what that light is blood. That a face suit of armor literally circulates the pilot's blood around the body, and this basically provides an entire barrier that the Monado can't penetrate, which is kind of how it works by basically being... Okay, right, it's never really made clear how the Monado identifies that something is a being of Bionis, and as such it can't cut through it. And weirdly it seems like, actually, if you had, like... If you got armor that's got flesh inside it, you'd think it would cut through the armor but not the flesh. But then again, actually, come to think of it, when we first see the Monado pass through Fiora, it passes through Fiora and it doesn't like cut her clothes, for various reasons. Though this is, well, yeah, I wouldn't actually rule that out in this game. But it passes through her clothes, so I guess it basically just comes down to, oh, an offensive Mechon Plus. We've got these new kind of like angel form Mechon, which can be a little bit annoying, but they are kind of glass cannons. As it says offensive Mechon Plus, they really don't put up much of a fight. Wow, they don't have much defense, but there's the nice thing about Melia, by the way. As I've mentioned before, her Spear Break and Starlight Kick combo can break the Unbreakable. Offensive Mechon Pluses are, technically speaking, they are immune to break. But being immune to break doesn't mean shit for that combo, because you don't inflict break. You just hit them with spear break, has break in the name, but it doesn't actually break them, and then you just force topple on them, which is bloody marvelous. Right, we're approaching a bit of a fortress up ahead, and then so I'm just going to deal with some stuff here, then we will talk a little bit more about Faced Mechon. So, this is Dolgan Outpost, and as we approach it... I really thought that happened already. Oh, shit, wow. Not only did I get hurt, but also no battle start affinity for me. Right, let's clear these guys up. Well, that's interesting. If you use summon copy for the first time in a fight, it summons a copy of whatever was the last elemental you summoned in the last fight. That's quite handy. Oh, that's shit. Right. So, it came up there, but I was pressing A to use an elemental, and I missed it. So we have a surprise quest here. There's a couple of surprise quests throughout Sword Valley. It's called Secure Dolgan Outpost. This is Dolgan Outpost. And so we just need to kill a unique monster that resides... Ooh, level up. Arts learned. Has Melia learned her best art? I think she has. Let's finish this fight and find out. Oh, an amethyst helmet with slots. That will be handy for my various medium-armoured people. Ricky, you're the chief recipient of that, I think. And we've got some shoes type. Colony type there. Am I really still getting new versions of colony type stuff? But only for some people. Right, this is what I don't get. I guess maybe it's about whether armour can be equipped or not. Because here we've unlocked it for Charlotte, but we've apparently already had it for Charlotte. But I thought equipment was shared in that way. Oh, well. Right, so, ooh, skills. Who's learnt skills? Melia has learnt final skill in that branch. What do we want to look at next? Let's start working towards this. I think heavy armoured Melia might be the route I go down in the long run. She's got to get heavy armoured from someone, which means we need to build up a fair bit of affinity so that she can skill link that off someone to actually wear it. Schultz made it to the bottom of this. Oh, the behind boost. Wonderful. So I guess we'll have them work on that next. And Dunman's got that. Oh, the naked skill. We don't really need that. Greatly increases agility with no armor equipped. And increases aggro with no armor equipped. It's a powerful move to go full, like, dex tank with Dunban, but I'm not quite ready yet. I think we will put him on to his new obstinance tree. Oh, clearly I haven't got into it since I bought some stuff. Oh, yes. I can level up Soaring Thunder. I'm going to do exactly that. Yes, here we go. Oh, everything's coming together. So, Melia has learned probably her best single art, Summon Earth. When it's summoned, it gives a physical damage down, so kind of protective buff to everyone around her. And when it's discharged, it does a significant chunk of ether damage and a significant chunk of damage over time. That damage over time fires up every 2 seconds for 30 seconds. But it's even better than that, because if we go to the skill trees, you will see that we have Playing with Poison, which increases poison duration by 15, and that's 15 seconds, which means that Summon Earth's attack does 45 seconds of damage over time. Not only is that absurdly powerful, but damage over time draws no aggro. And that's really Melia's weakness, is that she can draw a hell of a lot of aggro, and she does not want it. But with Summon Earth, slap that on, and they'll just be taking damage constantly. She can do a shit ton of damage over time, whilst never drawing aggro, which is wonderful. What's Ricky learned? Oh, he's learned Ricky is angry. This aura lets enemies feel the pain of the Heropon's wrath. Counter all non-talent art damage by dealing 2, 4, or even 8 times the damage as spike damage. It's kind of handy. I don't tend to use auras much on Ricky because he's got a lot of very useful arts. Like his setup they have at the moment is basically ideal, so I don't like to actually fuck with that too much. Oh, he's got a lot of art points actually, so I'm gonna level some of his shit up as well. I think I'll level up some and bolt a bit for Melia as well. But as soon as I can get a book for Summon Earth, you better believe I'll be doing that. Ooh, Ryan's got a nice bit of art points as well. Since we've leveled up Lariat, let's bring that as high as we can. Ooh, still not got headshot up though, which is annoying. I really want to do more with headshots. Let's get these, let's get covert stance up a bit. Cure bullet, let's get that up to its full. And let's get heal blast, or heal round today. Heal blast a bit higher. Shulk's now got his extra back thing, so let's put backslash up. Stream edge is real handy, as is light heal. Let's get all them up to the size we can. Shadow eye, also nice. And, oh, let's put shield up by 1. Shield's a bit low, 3. We're roughly at the moment. Some of the scary enemies we're about to face have level 6 talent arts, which means we would need shield that high to stop them. Worth knowing. See, also, I'm going to turn up speed a little bit, just to make it last a bit longer. It gives you a bit of more wiggle room. Oh, Dumban, Soaring Tempest, with as many art points as we can sink into it. Oh, look at that beautiful bastard. 8/16 to 10/18. Per hit, that is, of which it does 3 to everyone in range. And each one of those hits the talent gauge by 10. It's a fucking beautiful move. I love it. Right. Let's go and fight a scary, unique monster. To the point where this party, even though I've just talked about how good Melee is with Summon Earth, this party ain't going to cut it. We need the serious dealing with difficult enemies party. Which is Dumban, Shulk, and Ryan. I would potentially have Sharla in here, but we don't actually... I'm hoping to not need healing, he says. Famous last words. Let's fight this guy first, build up a bit of party gauge and whatnot. Right, with that done, it's nighttime, and I will show off the music in Sword Valley in a bit. It's not terrible, but it's not... It's among my lowest rated of the area themes, but the night is slightly nicer than the day. We've unlocked the gates, which we might actually be using at some point, but we'll get to it. You saw up there our target is in the kind of control area. There's 3 big Mechon. One of them is a unique monster, the other 2 are just big bastards. Whoa! Watch out for this little bastard, because he will warn them and stop you getting battle start affinity. Here we go. Right. Let's do some nasty shit. Prudent Person! What a ridiculous name. So that's up to a chain attack already, so let's fire that off. So in a chain attack, of course, we do this. We half-charged a new chain attack already. What do we want to do? Backslash. We're not behind him, but it'll be powerful anyway. And Sword Drive. Really? No chain extension? Ugh, that is obnoxious. Well, at least we've got some Burst Affinity there. Let's start off a Blossom Dance. All of these will be crits with Dumban, which will all basically get us up to another chain attack I'm hoping for. See, he loves using Monado Buster as Shulk. You can see it right there. We're not in the best position here for Shulk, Dumban to use Soaring Tempest, but we'll try it. Right, here we can actually backslash it. And Ryan, oh, let's do War Swing. There we go, that's what we're looking for. Oh, not quite charged, that's annoying. Right, Worldly Slash. Now this is what we were going for. 65, not bad. Shulk needs to do some healing pretty fast, or we're going to have a bit of a rough time. Let's have another Blossom Dance. Hopefully this will charge us another chain attack. I'm just hoping to basically keep us in a constant stream of chain attacks. No, Ryan's dead. Shit, shouldn't have started a chain attack here. Oh, well. We've nearly got Prudent Person dead anyway, and we do get a better chance of a chain link when someone is missing from a chain attack at least, which is something, but it didn't fire up. There we go. We actually can't revive Ryan at the moment, because we've not got enough stuff, but now we have, which is good. And there we go. We've killed Prudent Person. We've got an Orion cap for that, which is quite nice. Orion is a type of heavy armor that's better than heavy armor. As it is better than the type that's called heavy armor, which is the one we've currently got. So that will go on to Ryan in a second. Let's just finish up these android units. Vision, really, this late in the day? See, Deadshot 4 there, so we're level 4 ones on this guy. But this guy's a unique monster. They tend to be a bit better. But hopefully we'll kill this guy, which is one way of changing the future. There we go. Right, did we get any good gubs for that as well? Potentially. Right, so we're at a frustrating bit here where we often get quite a lot of good weapons in this area, but you really can't use any Mechonis weapons, so it tends to be a bit difficult to... Our attack power is kind of stuck at whatever the attack power of the anti-Mechon weapons is. But let's put some of this armor on. Oh, so Dumban's got a new Mountain Spear. Hideous. Helmet-wise, we've now unlocked the Orion type for everyone, which is powerful on Dumban. And kind of swirly, horny. Horny. Oh, we can make Charlotte ginger. Apparently, that's weird. Cool looking on Ricky. Weird catsuits on Melia. But we will actually slap it on Ryan, because I assume it'll be better than the heavy gear. Yes, it will, by a fair margin. It's a powerful set of heavy armor. Right, let's switch up our party again. Now we don't need the serious party anymore. So we're back to Ricky, Melia, and Ryan, and back to talking about Faced Mechon for a bit. So one of the big bodies of evidence... Oh, there's a man over there. Well, let's kill him first. This whole party of Rick, well, especially the combination of Ricky and Melia, is kind of wonderful for the absurd just amount of damage over time that it can do. Because between Melia's Summoner and Ricky's absurd amount of stacking debuffs that all cause damage over time, be it Chill, Blaze, and Poison, and Bleed, oh, we can do some daft stuff with this party, and I do love it. But yeah, one of the big bits of evidence as well that it's about blood circulating is when you go back to the first scene when we encountered Bronzeface, he's fighting us, and then suddenly says, "My time is here, up, fuck that up, my time here's up, I gotta go." And at that point you notice his lights start flickering blue. Blue, the colour notably of deoxygenated blood. And the theory there, again, not really confirmed, but the theory there is that he's fighting so hard, because he's doing a lot of serious hammer swinging before then. The point there is that he might actually outdo his face's ability to, well, his face suit's ability to keep up with to keep the Hom's blood flowing enough to actually provide adequate protection against the Monado, and so it starts becoming weak to it, and so he decides to leave rather than risk Shulk actually, like, doing damage to him. And that actually brings me on to, there's another scene with Bronzeface, which is not... it's deliberately ambiguous, I think, and I'll talk about it once I've fought this offensive Mechon Plus and his Honeybee unit. Ooh, gold chest. Oh, we got some blade stuff. So the blade set is a really handy, unique set. Oh, we got some special shoes for everyone. Aerith Type 3. Is that the purple type of Aerith? Yeah, it is. The blade gear is particularly handy for Dunban, well, the blade set generally, because it's light armor, which is particularly well optimized for the kind of stuff that Dunban is trying to do. Like, for example, the blade gear comes with initial tension, which is quite handy for Dunban. Tension is good for getting chain attacks and party gauge. Blade leggings are aura heal, and Dunban's got auras up the wazoo, so that's handy. And, oh, those are earth boots, not blade boots. The other ones give him, you know, like, agility and stuff like that. They are really Dunban-friendly items. But yeah, so the first time we actually see Bronzeface is when we emerge on Bionis Knee, and we see, I'll put it on the screen here, we see a darkened room with Bronzeface eating a Homs. But yeah, he definitely picks up the Homs and chucks it into his mouth, and there's a lot of debate online about whether... So when you see the Mechon eating Homs, eating in inverted commas, they do squeeze them and ether comes out of them. And we know from what the sword of the Bionis is doing that they are like... Oh, shit ass. Oh, need to watch out for the fortress units. But yeah, they do definitely run off ether. We know that because they drain ether out of the Bionis with the sword. It's all that green shit we see now. Yeah, we'll leave that fortress unit around for now. Only because it is also 5 levels higher than us. Ooh, please grab some of these. So we know they use ether, so they could indeed just be rendering people down for ether. Like, nothing we've seen technically, you know, means that isn't the case. But there's a lot of discussion about whether that scene might actually also be Bronzeface's pilots entering the suit. We do learn a little bit later, a lot bit later actually, a little bit more about Bronzeface's pilot, the Homs called Zord, so I'll mention it a little bit more then. And that might just be his elaborate way of entering them, is like, oh, I'm going to pretend to be eaten, but that never stuck with me particularly well of why that would be obviously the case. With that done, I'm also going to take out these offensive units here. So, with those guys all taken out, we have got access to now the third gate over here. And this one's actually locked, and this is going to be the first gate we actually try and go through. But if we look at the map, it kind of... The third gate extends up that way. We actually want to go down that way, but there's some useful stuff behind the third gate. So that's kind of our goal for now, is to find our way into the third gate. I am actually going to follow along this wall for a bit to the right to get to a new area, and let the music, the nighttime music for Sword Valley play. So over here, we have a secret area, the Monado Wound, which is this massive gaping hole in the sword of the Mechonis, clearly caused by blocking it blocking the Monado with it during the great battle between the Titans at the beginning of time, which is quite cool. As with most secret areas, it has a pretty decent selection of item orbs kicking around, so let's pick some of those up. Then we have a unique monster over here, the level 51 Benevolent Aim. It's not part of a quest, but it is here, so I'm just going to kill it. But I'm going to switch to my usual fighty team for it, except people have learned skills. A lot of people have learned skills. So we've got Ryan, Shulk, and Dunban, and we are going to fight the Benevolent Aim. Big bit of advice with the old Benevolent Aim. Don't topple it. A lot of these melee units, so this kind of build of Mechon, have pretty severe topple spikes. Oh shit, I didn't mean to use that. I meant to actually... Oh, well, there we go. I meant to use Magnum Charge and then let off a powerful Sword Drive. But there we go. Hopefully we can get up to... Oh, I'm dazed. Undaze me. There we go. It's so tempting that he's broken to topple him. It's so tempting. We have to avoid that. Right, okay, let's do a Civil War swing first. Build up that talent gauge a bit. Then we'll backslash for some extra damage. Then Dunban is still actually in Heat Haze, so you can do Soaring Tempest. And that's it, really? Ugh, well, that's a bit annoying. Well, let's give this guy a nice, powerful Magnum Charge Sword Drive, which should at least keep his attention a little bit as well. Unfortunately, it's the issue of Dunban using Heat Haze is it draws attention away from Rhine, because Dunban can't generate aggro while it's on. So, oh, we got a level 5 talent art. I need to remember to dial shield up, because that's not going to work at this point, which is annoying. Yep, I only got shield level 4. Balls. Right, Shulk, how about this? What did I have? I meant to have him do light heal, but apparently not. Hey, you, look at me. Look at me. Oh, there we go. I just got his attention. That's going to kill me instead. Shit. Didn't really think about that. Oh, well, at least he can get me back up. There we go. Yeah, toppling this guy is real tempting as well, but is going to end badly for me. Right, we should be doing all right here. Not great, not terrible. Let's risk toppling him, and hopefully Shulk can purge him. Purge him, Shulk. Shulk, use purge. Oh, ugh. Right, let's daze him and take the fucking aura off him then. Shit, fuck that up as well. Wow, that went really badly for me for so many reasons. Oh, I've not got enough to warn Shulk. There we go. Right, let's speed myself. Oh, it's going to miss me anyway. Well, still handy to speed myself. Right, we're doing all right here, and strictly all right. But as long as we can keep that party gauge topped up so that if we die, someone can be regenerated, that's all we need. Oh, balls. Alright, let's try that again, but this time I'm going to try and not really use chain attacks so much, because they were not amazingly helpful there. One-on-one, they're not with this combo. This combo is really all about chain attacks when we're surrounded. You'll notice that Shulk will occasionally do a Monado enchant. That's partly because he doesn't know that his allies don't have anti-Mechon weapons, but also enchant does still mean you deal additional damage to Mechon, so it is still useful. Do I risk toppling him and hopefully I can actually, yes, let's topple and daze him, why not? Oh, shit. Well, that was the end of that. Well, let's shield bash him as soon as we can. There we go, that'll at least take that off. Right, let's be ballsy. Let's try and finish him with a chain attack. If we don't succeed in this, we're basically 7 Jades fucked, because we'll be left absurdly exposed. But let's see what we can do. Sometimes we can get really good chain extensions with this party, so... Oh, we're gonna be exposed! Don't like this at all. Though at least we got a decent amount of party gauge in that. There we go, we got the bastard down. Wonderful. Let's loot his gubs. Oh, blade armor. Oh, and a different visual on the staff for Melia. The official staff. Again, can't really give anyone weapons at this point because then we lose the anti-Mechon bonuses. Yeah, the blade armor gives strength up, which is very nice for Dunban, and then I think the gloves give, and all the shoes give agility. All very, very Dunban friendly, certainly. Right, with that, we are going to take a bit of a back route to the Ether storage area. So let's walk back to Dolgan Outpost. Also, this is a new thing that they've added in Definitive Edition. Sandstorms, occasionally, in Sword Valley, is a weather condition that was not there in the original Xenoblade Chronicles. Mildly interesting. Anyway, let's follow all of these walkways along till we're somewhere new. So from here, there's a fortress unit down there that I want to avoid, but we're actually going to walk back and along this gate a bit to hook around. I want to talk about as well, so Mumkar as Metal Face. I talked about this bit last episode, that one of the frustrating things is, by the time that it's revealed that Fiora is Silver Face, by the time you then go and confront Mumkar at the bottom of Valak Mountain, I think most people... Oh, shit nuts. Ugh, let's walk back around. Man, this prick's really following me up here. Jesus. Go away. Fuck off. But yeah, most... oh, really? As soon as I start talking again. What the... Okay, I think we survived that. Yeah, most of the time I think the player has figured out by the time you actually get to the reveal that Metal Face is Mumkar, because you start asking yourself, okay, if Fiora's that thing, who could Metal Face be? Especially because Dunban has pretty obvious lines like, what or who are you? And then he's like, impossible, you move like, so it's kind of a non-twist in that sense. I appear to have hit the end of the line. Oh, it's because I need to go back the way a bit. That'll be why, because I actually need to go in where those yellow lights are. Which is a bit of a shame, because up until that point, the game is very clever about not revealing who Metal Face is. By which I mean, the prologue introduces you to Mumkar, and you see Mumkar, in inverted commas, die. Xenoblade is one of those bits of media in which has the pretty strong rule of, if you don't see a corpse, they ain't dead. Like, see Fiora, see Mumkar. And you see Mumkar and stuff like that in the prologue. By the way, Ether River, not good. Which is why I don't know why these guys have just gone for a stroll through the Ether River. But yeah, you see Mumkar in Colony 9, but he doesn't talk in Colony 9. And that's pretty key to it all, because if you heard him talking then you'd be like, oh, it's that guy from 20 minutes ago in the prologue. The fact is, you don't have any dealings with any Mechon for a while. He's there and he's enough to motivate stuff, and it's quite cool how much of his personality you see there. I didn't point this out at the time because I didn't want to do it so much, but like, when Shulk first hits him and the Monado bounces off, he does this little wag with his finger, and him like leering at Square Tash. Like, you get a lot of Metal Face's personality without him having to speak, which is pretty cool. Then you obviously have the reveal that Faced Mechon can speak when Zord speaks, and Zord is such a fucking forceful personality, and asks interesting questions and makes you think about stuff, to the point where then when you actually hear, oh, here we are at Inalda Control Base, when you finally hear Metal Face speak, defeat Tranquil Morax at the base. When you finally hear Metal Face speak, it's been 20 hours minimum. You've done all the stuff in Gower Plain since the prologue. So usually, unless you've, been watching it back on a Let's Play, you've forgotten what Mumkar sounds like, and maybe even forgotten about Mumkar in general, and so you don't immediately think, oh, well, obviously it's this guy. And that's a nice, very clever bit of them throwing you off the scent in a way. And that reveal when he first speaks for the first time, when he hovers up behind and he goes, hope I'm not interrupting. I will say, it's notable that all of the villains in this game are voiced by the seriously veteran voice actors, and they are all very good at what they do, and especially, like, your man who plays Mumkar fucking goes for it. Here's Tranquil Morax down there. He should be fairly straightforward, but he has... So Tranquil is the key that gives you away what his most infuriating thing that he does is. He has an infuriating topple spike, which actually inflicts sleep on you. Tranquilizer, hence Tranquil. So don't topple him, no matter how tempting it is. Let's go. Right, while we're still surrounded by enemies, I want to get a chain attack going, because I want to use things like Wall Swing and Dunban's Riding Tempest, Soaring Tempest. It's really been mingy on giving me the chain extensions today. In the fight against Mumkar, we got like 7 chain extensions in a row. Though I always do wonder if the game knows when to give you them for maximum dramatic effect, because it does sometimes feel that way in certain boss fights, which I got a lot of time for. Right, what's happening here? Overeater 6. We really need to level up Monado's shield. Can you give me a light heal? That's gonna be light, so it's not gonna be heavy enough by far. Maybe we can just kill him. That'll do it. That's, as I've always said, one way to change the future is murder. Never underestimate that. That completes that mission. Fun fact, by the way, Sword Valley is one of only 2 areas in the game, the other being Galahad Fortress that we're going to get to next episode, which is not part of an area. You know, so far we've had, you know, Colony 6, Colony 9, Central Bionis, Upper Bionis, Sword Valley and Galahad Fortress are not areas. As such, none of the quests, so a lot of quests, when you complete them, give you affinity. No quests in Sword Valley or Galahad Fortress, because those like surprise quests, give you any affinity, because they're not actually tied to an area. Mildly interesting thing for you. Anyway, we will hold it there, I think. We've made some decent inroads into Sword Valley. Next episode, we'll be pushing on... So we've come pretty well so far. We're aiming for here. So here is the kind of hilt of the sword is around here, where Galahad Fortress is. We made bloody good progress along to it. So next episode, we will be pushing forward to the hilt, which is where Galahad Fortress is. And we'll see what we find there. I'm going to kill this guy, then we'll end. Worth noting, actually, just before I fully close out the episodes. Oh, Brave. Oh, no, Brave isn't so good. Oh, who's learning art? Oh, all sorts of things are going on. Dunman's learned an art. Dunman's learned Jaws of Death. I think I'm probably going to put this on instead of Spirit Breath. Jaws of Death. An aura that recovers HP just before incapacitation. If he uses this kind of like Ryan's Last Stand. If he uses this art when he's going to die, then he comes back on 30% health and does 1.5 times damage and has his talent gauge basically filled. Very handy to use for visions. Generally not a super helpful aura to just have on, but as a specific reaction to an emergency situation, very useful. Let's go right now and slap shield up by a couple of levels, I think. Oh, we can't quite. Really? We're 7 AP off? That's obnoxious. Well, we'll do that after fighting one more bloke, I suppose. These two work quite well together. The improved Z for defense the more heavy equipment is worn, and things boosted if no gems are equipped, because at this stage, at least, most of the heavy armor we have, all of the heavy armor we have, doesn't have slots. So that can actually be quite handy. Worth pointing out as well, that gate that we opened is not a gate onto a next area. It's actually this one back, the 3rd gate. So we'll be finding out what's behind that next episode. And I hope you will join me then. Thank you very much, and good day. Let's end the green goo shot.